What's up, Tech Heart? We're talking about some cool stuff today. Have you been hearing about the Rayhunter project all around these popular hacker YouTubers? Well, so have I. What is the Rayhunter project? Well, it's built off of a Verizon Orbic 4G Wi-Fi hotspot. And these little puppies have become pretty cheap since they're not used much anymore. I got this bad boy for 17 old bucks, no battery included. So I grabbed the battery for $7 and I have a working Verizon Orbic 4G hotspot. Okay, what does that get us other than throttled data over an old protocol that we don't want to use? We can flash the EFF's Rayhunter project onto this device. Rayhunter detects suspicious handshakes and behaviors consistent with a Stingray or a cell site simulator. What does that spell? Is the government sniffing our data or trying to learn our text messages and what we're doing online? Let's dig in and I'll show you all about it. Is this puppy fluff in 2026? Is it fun? Or is it really a hacker's tool? Let's find out. Woo! That fucking sucks.
Okay, rock stars, let's dive in, and first we'll learn about the Rayhunter, then we'll inspect what the Rayhunter can do, and after that, we'll inspect some of the Rayhunter captures. Maybe we have some warnings from the wild. After which, I'll show you how to install the project onto your Verizon Orbic. But for now, let me get rid of this video and we'll dive on in. Let's go! Okay, so here we are. The first article that we're going to check out is Meet Rayhunter, a new open source tool from EFF to detect cellular spying. This is the project that we'll install on top of our Verizon Orbic 4G hotspot. The technologies used by police and other authorities to spy on you while you're going about your everyday life, such as automated license plate readers, facial recognition, surveillance camera networks, and cell site simulators, those are the ones we're targeting, also known as Stingrays or IMSI catchers, are devices that masquerade as legitimate cell towers, tricking phones within a certain radius into connecting to the device rather than a tower. And in this way, LEOs, governments, and bad actors can sniff out what you're doing on the cell phone in your pocket. That can't be good. They operate by conducting a general search of all cell phones within the device's radius. Law enforcement use CSS to pinpoint the location of phones, often with greater accuracy than other techniques, such as cell site location information, CSLI, and without needing to involve the phone company at all. In this way, police and government agencies have hidden the way that they're collecting our data for years. And that's not a good thing. And it's why the EFF made Rayhunter so that we can help fight and find out when, where, and why these agencies are using Stingrays and other devices. So here we have the Rayhunter GitHub project. This is where we can download all of the code that we'll then upload to our Verizon Orbic. And on the GitHub page, you can find the installation guides and other texts that you might want to research. So we'll keep this GitHub for later use. Here I have pulled up the Rayhunter documentation. We can go from installing Rayhunter, which is pretty easy. We just download the latest release, unzip it, and move into a folder. We'll connect our device and run a couple commands. Not so hard, even for you. Since I already have Rayhunter installed on my Orbic, let's take a look at the Verizon Orbic Speed dashboard. Now I can't show you too much, but this is like the router or the hotspots dashboard where you can change all your settings, get information, see clients that are connected. Right now I have my laptop, Wi-Fi status, oh don't pay attention to this, and other things. This is the Rayhunter software's dashboard. This is where you can see all your PCAP files. Those are the recordings that your Rayhunter device will collect as you drive around the world. And it gives you much information about it. I've been driving around for about 2 weeks, all up and down the East Coast, over 1,500 miles, and I have no warnings nor information. However, I do have many collections. These are all recordings that we can inspect later. I'll show how to install Rayhunter after, but let's look at an article that talks about what they've found so far. The Rayhunter project has been around for a couple years. I believe it was in the beginning of 2024. So we can scroll down and read. When this article was written, it was a little over a year ago that EFF had released Rayhunter. It's been installed on thousands of devices, and they've received dozens of packet captures, made hundreds of improvements, and driven the project further. You can find more articles about Rayhunter, or you can even watch their DEF CON talk, which is a pretty cool video. Rayhunter's job is to look for cell site simulators. Later, Rayhunter analyzes the handshakes between your Rayhunter device and the towers it's connected to for behaviors consistent with that of a CSS. A cell site simulator! If it finds potential evidence of a CSS, it will alert the user. Hopefully that's going to be us. So far, Rayhunter has not turned up any evidence of CSSs being used to spy on protests in the US, though they found them in use elsewhere. There's a couple caveats. First, it's often impossible to prove a negative. Maybe Rayhunter just hasn't been at protests where CSS have been present. Maybe detection signatures aren't picking up the techniques used by US law enforcement, but they've received reports from a lot of protests all over the country. So far, no evidence of CSS at any of them. They go on to talk about reasons why this might be true. They point out that there are many other techniques that LEOs use. However, the article goes on to tell us, and a different international user was actually able to catch CSS warnings. On the GitHub page by Zero Chaos, Rayhunter-traces, he supplies us with many of the capture files, just like we can find on our Rayhunter dashboard, that do have warnings. And we're going to take a look at those just before I show you how to install Rayhunter on your Verizon Orbic. So, shall we? Let's go take a look at successful CSS detection using these Rayhunter devices. Let me flop over to a terminal and we'll take a look at Zero Chaos's Rayhunter recordings. Let's go! Okay, so if we want to grab those Rayhunter traces from Zero Chaos, we can do a git clone on https://zerochaos-/Rayhunter-traces.git. That's going to pull all of his Rayhunter captures down, and then we can go play with them, shall we? This is the really cool bit. We can move into that directory, Rayhunter traces, and these are all the captures from Zero Chaos. We can even see them here. He has many QMDL files, and then also a .txt to go with each one. These were kind of cute too. Let's cat one of those out. 175.959. Yeah, here, let's just do .txt, and it says, apparently, this was at my house, and I swear it wasn't me. There's a text file for each one of these, and it's really cool. Now, how do we digest these reports? Well, in the Raytracer project, we also get another application. I know that it's 2 directories down, and I can search for Rayhunter check for my Linux x64, and there's an application called Rayhunter check. So we can do a -D, I believe, for detailed, and then we can do a path on this directory. Now what this command is saying is we're going to run this application Rayhunter-check on all of these QMDL files that we know have actual Rayhunter warnings for Stingray presence. Let's run that and see what we get. Ooh, look, we got warnings. We're going to go back, don't worry. On one of the QMDL files, there's 169 warnings, but 5,300 messages were skipped. So this is the Rayhunter software running through all of our captures, or rather, Zero Chaos's captures, and we can go look at it in a minute. Here we go! We have various warnings. Severity high, disconnected after identity request without auth accept packet. So even if you have the best Rayhunter experience, you're going to see a warning or 3, but I haven't yet. I'm scrolling back to try to find more warnings. I know they're here. Warning, severity high, disconnected after identity request, the same. Security mode command requested null cipher packet. So here are various warnings from Rayhunter check. NAS security mode command requested null cipher packet. We can do this another way. We can run the same command and we can say grep warn. We won't get the pretty colors, but this will only be our warnings. And we can see that Rayhunter is working. If it picks up a Stingray, it will tell us of all the warnings, and here they are. But again, this is the best you're going to get from the project, and I haven't had no success yet. Stinker pinker. However, I wanted to show this because these are the type of warnings that the Rayhunter project is aiming to find. Now, we can do one more thing. If I go down a couple directories and into the Mine folder, these are my Rayhunter captures. Again, there are no warnings within these captures. However, I have a bunch of .pcap files, and I can use a CLI program called TermShark, which is much like Wireshark, and I can run it on one of these PCAP files. So let's just select one of them. It's a 1.2 megabit file. And we can open up this CLI Wireshark, and in here we can see all of the various things that Rayhunter captured. Now, as I mentioned, we had no warnings, but inside of this file you can see everything that Rayhunter captured from our hotspot traveling across the East Coast. This is pretty cool. Now, I'm no security expert, nor am I a hacker, nor am I cool. I am a nerd, but all the data's here, and that's pretty cool to me. Now, I think Rayhunter for most people is a lot of fluff, but do you still want to know how to install it? Are you fast on eBay looking for your $23 Verizon Wi-Fi hotspot? Well, let's go see how to install Rayhunter after you get your hotspot. This is all fun, right? I'll meet you right back here, and we'll do it together. Let's install Rayhunter, baby! All right, rock stars. To install Rayhunter, we'll first go over to the Rayhunter GitHub. We'll scroll down and find the Releases tab, and in January 2026, the newest one is 0.9. We'll click the latest version, and let it pull up. And when we scroll down here to the files, or assets, you'll find all different Rayhunter versions. So for me, I'm on Linux x64. I'll grab this file. But if you're on Mac OS, or Windows, or anything else, grab the file that you need. Once you download that file and see it here, we can do unzip Rayhunter, and that'll unzip the sucker into a new folder that we can switch into, and we see some new files. All these checks up here are the software that we can use to check our future captures. There's a scripts folder and a Rayhunter daemon folder that we don't have to pay attention to, and you'll also see an installer file. We have options. You can flash over USB, and that's the easiest way. Just plug a USB into your Orbic and your computer, and we could run installer Orbic-USB, and that would work. However, there's a prerequisite. You need to have ADB, which are Android tools, installed onto your computer. You might not have that. If you're on Arch Linux, you could just run a sudo pacman-s on Android-tools. Now, I don't want to reinstall it, so I'll say no, but that would get you going if you're on Arch Linux. But I'm not on Arch. I'm on Windows or Mac OS. What do I do, Daddy? If you're on Mac OS, you should first install this really cool thing called brew. Brew is a command line installer. You would just copy this command here and paste it into your terminal, but it won't work on here. And you'd install brew, and then you just run a brew install Android-platform-tools. That would get you ADB. If you're on Winblows, you could go right over to developer.android.com/tools/releases/platform-tools. And I'm not a Windows guy, but I assume you just go here and download the SDK platform tools for Windows, and that'll give you ADB. At any rate, once you have ADB installed, like so, and your Verizon Orbic is connected to the computer via USB, we can simply run an installer Orbic-USB. It'll do a few things like enable ADB, install root shell, install Rayhunter, and wait for a reboot. After the reboot, it's going to test Rayhunter, and hang on to your pants because in a second, you're going to have it installed. Great! You should now see a green line at the top of your Orbic Verizon, and that means you're connected to Rayhunter, baby! But what if I don't want to install ADB, Daddy? Well, we can still get around this. Make sure your Verizon Orbic is not connected to your computer, and open up your Wi-Fi. If you scan, you'll see your Rayhunter's Wi-Fi access point. You can go through the menus on your Orbic to see the Wi-Fi and the password. Go ahead and connect to it. And now my computer is connected to the Verizon Orbic hotspot, and I can do an installer orbic admin-password. And in quotes, you can enter your admin password. The password will be the same as your Wi-Fi's password that you can find in those menus on your Verizon Orbic. Give that sucker a run, and it'll do the install over Telnet. How cool is that? Sending firmware over the interwaves. Either way, you're connected, and now it says we can get to our Rayhunter right there. Look at you, man. Fancy pants. You've got Rayhunter installed. Were you a hacker in there?
So, Tech Hearters, what did you think about the Rayhunter project? I think it's really cool. It's not the smoking bullet that we were all looking for, but it works and it's pretty awesome. The device is found fairly cheap. Like I said, I got mine for around $23 all in. I looked on eBay and they're going up, so if you want to get in on this, try to find one now. Let me know down in the comments below, are you going to give Rayhunter a shot? It was a lot of fun, it was simple, and I think you should. If you're still here, consider subscribing, because I know that 90% of you aren't. So do what you ought to do. Till next time, Tech Heart.